What's going on, family? What's going on, family? What's going on, family? Yes, thank God for another day. Truly, God doesn't, you know what I'm saying, stop his blessings for people who earned it. You know, if you receive the blessing from God, be thankful. You know what I mean? Be thankful. You know, it's a wonderful thing to see people get blessings from God, you know, especially if it's going to advance your financial situation. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing, you know. And it's just testimony. It's like, it just shows like when people wait on God, people patient, things gonna happen. You know, when I tried to rush and find something real quick because I just, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just want to play it safe. You know, you don't want to wait till the last minute because I've been in situations so many times where I mess around and waited to the last minute and lost my place and ended up being homeless. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely discipline to know to wait on God. But the thing about it is some people wait, and they never step out on faith. Waiting on God and stepping out on faith is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you stepping out on faith and you waiting on that opportunity, but you're putting action while you're waiting on opportunity. Not meaning you rushing, but you stepping out on faith. And you don't just take, anything. You know, God's going to give you, you know what I mean, what you need. But if you're in a very unfavorable situation and it's repeatedly the same thing, then God is trying to show you something. You know what I'm saying? So it's just be humble, try to adapt to almost any situation. Sometimes the going can get rough. You know, every single job, they're going to do the tactics. You know what I mean? But it's just basically, if there's people that you can connect with, even though they do the tactics. See, the thing about it is, family, when it comes to these tactics, it's autopilot. Like, it's embedded in their DNA now. Even if they wanted to stop, they have to hold their hand. They would have to hold their mouth. They would have to hold their ears to stop because they're on autopilot. They couldn't stop if they did, even if they didn't want to. You know what I mean? Even if it didn't make sense, they couldn't stop. So you got to understand, it's to a point where it just don't make sense anymore. So when it gets to that point where the pattern is so consistent and it just don't make sense anymore, once you make sense of it, don't make sense of it. You get it, but don't make sense of it. The only time is when you got those handlers, when you got those people that's not the flying monkeys, or that's not just the regular agents, the people that's really, you know what I mean, behind some of these agents. You can discern them too. You know what I'm saying? They look at you, they really study you. You know, the agents, the flying monkeys, they just on autopilot. You know what I mean? But the handlers, if you can peep a handler, them the people where, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they can do anything to you, but they gonna continually, push the tactics on you, you know? So family is just the thing about it is like when you go to work, you can still cool, kick it, ignore the tactics, ignore it, you know what I'm saying? And just act like you don't understand. Even if you do understand, act like you don't understand because it's so frequent, it's so much of a pattern, it's so much engineered into today's society where it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna do it. So it's like you gotta live in a society, right? So you just gotta adapt to it. You know what I mean? You just gotta adapt to, okay, that's, you know what I mean? It's almost like somebody who has like a disability, like you kind of ignore, like let's say if somebody, like this not funny, let's say somebody curled up their hand like a wing. It was like a disability. You know what I'm saying? Like when you first see it, it's like, oh, okay, wow, that's kind of strange. But then when you see so many people doing it, you're like, oh, it becomes normal. You know what I mean? You just cool with your homeboy with the curled up hand. That's cool. And with their Tourette's, it's like hanging out with somebody with messed up hand and with Tourette's. They just gonna randomly, indirectly say some stuff. It's just autopilot. You know what I mean? You can't get in your feelings, family, especially at work, because you got to make it work. You can't, because that's what the program wants you to do. The program wants you to either talk too much and give too much information where they can use against you, or they want you to isolate yourself from everybody. So you got to find your middle ground. You can't talk too much, and you can't be too isolated. Because them two things make you a target. Being too loud makes you a target, and being too quiet makes you a target. So it's always that middle ground. You know what I'm saying? It's always just, you know what I mean? Yeah, everybody knows, but it's cool. But it's just like, thank God for the opportunity that you can grow and keep going. That's the thing. Thank God for the opportunity that you can grow and keep going. That's the love of it all. And still be able to adapt into a society like this, that's been engineered like this. You know what I mean? You didn't even know forces like this existed. I didn't know it existed to this extent. I knew it's a spiritual warfare. I know that. I know there's invisible entities, and you know what I'm saying, and using flesh and blood to carry out their bid. But I didn't know it was to this extent. I didn't know it can get to a setting where even people who don't seem like they of darkness is doing it. Now, this is like otherworldly. You know what I mean? Sometimes it be feeling like you woke up in another reality or something, or another dimension, or like one of them sci-fi movies. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to adapt to another twin planet. You know what I mean? But not to jump that deep in the rabbit hole, but it can get, when it engineers this much, it can give you that feeling. When certain things are so controlled, it can definitely give you that feeling. It can really, really give you that feeling. Like, wow. You know what I mean? But if I'm operating off ego, if I'm operating off wanting validation, then that's when the person usually crack. That's when the person usually submit. You know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't be wise for me to crack, or it would be wise for me to submit. No. It'd be wise just to keep going with the flow of things. A lot of people ain't gonna like me. A lot of people don't like me. A lot of people don't know me. A lot of people already have a preconceived notion about me. They already have whatever they put in their mind. It's imprinted. It's tattooed in their brain. I already accepted that. But at least I can try to make my time more better, the best way I can. You know what I'm saying? It's a mental thing. When you sitting isolated, when you sitting filling yourself up with the tactics, you gonna feel the pain. You gonna feel the burn. But when you find ways to look through it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when people laughing, even when people do that little subliminal racial Tourette's outbursts, you know what I'm saying? It's very subtle, the monkey sounds and stuff. You ignore it. You just think, how was your thought process before you've been programmed that was a racial slur? It's just a person making animal noises. You know what I'm saying? It's just wow. That's why I just can't believe how deep I was programmed into certain things. So it's helping me deprogram. Like, why does that offend you? That's how you got to think about it, family. Like, what programmed you to offend you? You got to get out of that programming. You can start creating your own programming. Because energy attracts the energy. You know what I'm saying? So if you filling yourself up with the tactics, low vibrational tactics, it's going to keep you at a low energy. People can feel that energy. It's going to be off. You know what I mean? Because me filling myself up with the tactics from job to job, I just had this off energy, isolated energy, and it just didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Now you go to one job and things don't work. You go to, and boom, and things, and you see that pattern. It's not the people around you. Even though it is the people around you, it's something that you need to do. It's something that you need to evolve from. So it just like, with that being said, it's just energy. You know what I mean? You be the energy. You know, don't let these people take your energy with these meaningless tactics. You get what I'm saying? You know, you gotta rise above that. You gotta be stronger than that. You gotta give praise to God. Like, I'm thankful I haven't been listening to rap music in a while. You know what I'm saying? And it pop up all in my feed, all type of new songs, all type of new rap songs, you know. But I know that's of the enemy. Now, I'm not saying don't listen to rap. This is for me. This is personally what I need for me because I've been listening to rap for so long. And even though I felt like it didn't influence me, it did influence me. You know what I mean? The way you look at things, the way you perceive, the way, you know what I'm saying? The rap music make you want to have respect and recognition. Makes, you know what I'm saying? It makes you not really want to work hard. You think you can get it a easier way. But sometimes in certain people's path are, you know, my path right now where I'm at is like, so I gotta work hard to enjoy the things that I want. I gotta work hard for it. I see that. You know what I mean? Other than that, or get with the program. But for me, not getting with the program, I gotta work hard. But I'm thankful that I got a job. That's the thing. Be thankful that you got the job, you know. But the thing about it, when you first get into the job, you don't want to go in there outworking people. You don't want to go out there outshining, outworking. You want to keep up with people. You want to keep that balance. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got that opportunity where you can show your light and go hard. But when you first go on a job, you just give that respect for people. You just kind of keep up. You know what I'm saying? But you don't just be running circles around people because that make you a target. Once again, you don't want to be too loud and you don't want to be too quiet. You want to be at the right pace. You know what I'm saying? The right frequency. And just ignore the tactics. At this point, just ignore the tactics. It's out of hand now. Like, I thought they could just hit a stop button, but even when they do hit a stop button, people have to hold their hand, people have to hold their mouth, people have to hold their ears. You know what I'm saying? It's just literally on autopilot. And once you get that, you just be like, oh, it's just on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, it is what it is. At one point in time, it did have a meaning to it. It did have a code language, but now it's just so frequent. It's so routine. It's really, really on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? But just thank God that you had the eyes to see. But it's just like, don't even look at these people as if they're not handlers, if they're not actually invading your privacy, if you can prove that. Other than that, you just gonna keep perp 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 perp. You just gonna perp yourself to death. You know what I'm saying? Don't that get old? We know what it is, but the thing, you still have to live in this society. Once you get to a level, you see that everybody has some type of a level of this gang stalking tactic. Now, I don't know if people are knowledgeable about it fully. I don't know how it goes, but it's wow, it's mind boggling. But I gotta live. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make it in society. So I gotta adapt. You know what I mean? I gotta see through it. I gotta keep my energy up, keep my spirits high, and keep going. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, family, just keep going. Keep working. You know, it's job opportunities out there. Like I said, after when it's 9 demons, it's 1 angel. You know, it's 1 person that's gonna give you a chance, give you opportunity. Now, just because I said that 1 angel, they're human beings, so a person gonna have up and down frequencies about themselves. But the angel, like the demons, they ain't gonna give you no chance. They already made their mind up about you. You see, they only playing up under your skin to get stuff out of you. But the angels, they actually give me, you know, they'll give you a chance. You know what I'm saying? But still, like, you know, the personality up and down, you know, things going on with their life and stuff like that. So you just have to have discernment. and just keep your spirits high and just try to rock with people the best way you can. But don't give people too much and don't give people too little. Just give them just right. And with that being said, family, peace.